Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Let's Be Telepathy. I'm Sharon Smith. Here is Noah, Adriana, Dad, Joe. We're at the gym. But this is a special Let's Be Telepathy as we have Kelly Wagner from the Edge magazine and several other guests. Melissa Jolly Graves, and we're going to have to go on mute because we're really loud here. So, Melissa Jolly Graves, take it away, please.
Hello, beautiful people. So yes, we are here with a special collaboration. Kelly Wagner, she's a dear friend of me, soul sister, and for years we've just been kind of we've been like this, but never linked up. And always skipping over each other. And every time we get together, it just gets to be something magical. We unlock skills we never even knew that we had. And so now we have been doing some vendoring events and stuff together. Well, this weekend, while I was with her, we had a lot of our friends coming through and saying, hey, Kelly needs love. And they interestingly said we wanted to present her with an opportunity to give us an opportunity. So we all have so many opportunities. So I called Kelly and said, hey, and she felt it right away. The team of Adriana, Noah, Mick, Finn, which she might actually know as Micah on the other side, but it's Mick in our world. And Brandon were all with her yesterday. So with that, I'm just gonna send it right over to her.
Hello, everybody. I am so blessed to be here. I've been feeling you. Oh my gosh, I've been feeling you. And I apologize that I'm this is live from my bed because I'm sick. So I'm the publisher of Edge magazine, and my husband just went and got a magazine. This is our current edition, right? And we are a very curious platform, and all are welcome. And Melissa has been, I'm going to get emotional, just such a beautiful person in my world. And when she told me about this opportunity to pop on, I was like, I just said yes. I said, it's my honor. What do I need to do? How do I need to show up? So Edge Magazine is a print and online magazine. Our website is edgemagazine.net. We have 4 podcasts. One is called The Being Curious Show. So that I love that one of the dads popped on and said what they were curious about. I'm like, curiosity is amazing. We have locations from Maui to Washington, D.C. and in Canada. And we're here to support. I left a big girl job as a VP of marketing and sales and jumped into buying a metaphysical magazine. And I get to do this with my husband, and I have partners all over the place. And I'm here to be and support and to collaborate and find out what's next.
Thank you, Kelly. So I know Noah and is really excited. He says, so how was our experience last night? And he says, can you tell them about it? Because you're a very sensitive person, and you explain him very great. And he says she was diagnosing all night. What am I feeling? What am I going through? And so he says he was picking your brain. And a lot of people often wonder, what does that feel like when somebody's around you and in your energy? And so yeah, I just want to hear about that.
You know what? I felt them right away when you said, would you like to be on the show? And it was like everybody showed up, and I know they were showing up beforehand. And because I am a psychic medium, I'm used to spirits, and I'm going to put in air quotes, being around me, but this felt totally different. And it was very curious. It was very, they were like, oh, she knows. And so there was a lot of like the percolation. And then I saw a lot of like sparkles, and then lots of codes, lots of 2s, lots of 9s. And then what I did when I did feel them last night and there was all that going on, I tried to just release and allow, because I was like, okay, everybody in a safe space, have fun, and let's get to know each other, because if we can get to know each other now, then we just whoop it up super fast. And I also felt instant trust. That was one thing that I felt really, really curiosity and trust. That's what I felt. How does that, is that in alignment? I'm asking that, and I shouldn't probably be asking, but
You don't need to
um
ask. No
I
one
love the
says.
curiosity bubbles. The curiosity bubbles, and they're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Um, I think there's some curiosity about my dog Diesel because he's a third eye dog. So I think there was a little bit of that going on. Um, I think they like the outside of the lake. I mean, it was just really interesting. And the swans last night were out all night last night. And I'm like, okay, who's playing with the swans? So it was like one of those nights.
I love it. The dogs, yeah. So Adriana just told us yesterday that, was it yesterday, Sharon, or maybe it was the day before? But talking about she wanted to do sound healing with the dogs. It was just Monday, because I had got my first gong, and she told me to start using it around my dog because my dog was sick. And she said that she wants to start helping people learn how to do sound healing for their animals because they're really needing that right now. So that's funny that that correlation was made with you too, and with the dog and the third eye dog, because Adriana is saying we need to start doing the sound healings and stuff for the animals. And they are very spiritually intelligent. And so she wanted to make sure that we fed them with the right energy and vibrations. And I had never thought about that before. So I know she's been working with, I know she is such a queen. So when she does things, she's like, haha, told you. But
Oh yeah.
I know she was working with someone, and Sharon would have to tell me sorry, about the sound healing and the animals.
I'm seeing EMF right now, and I want to know, I think the animals and our animals are a lot more distracted by the EMFs and the frequencies than we know. And I'm wondering if the sound healing could kind of have a balancing frequency to it.
All right. Can you guys unmute? And then I'll ask Adriana that question. Joe. Well, I guess you guys don't need to unmute. She says, yeah, absolutely. It's not only ruining the animal frequency, it's ruining the whole frequency. It's ruining where the light is, where all of the EMFs, both the natural and the unnatural EMF. It's ruining migration. We can start to see how different animals are migrating at different periods. And this has to do with not only the EMF, but I want to open it up to the different light and to different even thought patterns that are happening within our world. And that is being that's part of the whole. And because of that, and because we're off rhythm and we're not staying in with our circadian rhythm, and that is very important. We have people awake when they should sleep and sleeping when we are awake. So it's even the people and their times of awakeness and sleepness that is ruining the integration. And so it's so many different things and so many different variations, even listening to different musics while you're riding on the highway, and somebody has punk rock music, while somebody has classical and somebody has rap, that is ruining the different frequencies that are happening. So it's a lot that's going on right now, and people aren't taking into consideration that what they are doing as a whole. We should have times when we should not have energy being utilized at all in certain towns, maybe not having the lights even within the neighborhoods. Those should be taken out because we need to start going as natural as possible. They are absolutely interfered, not only as I said with all of those different variations, but it's actually making them sicker inside. And so our animals are getting sick because of this, and creating rashes, creating eye problems before they usually have eye problems. It is also creating problems within nature itself, of mothers having to leave their animals first because they're not feeling right. And there are even some animal species right now that are starting to think that it's I'm gonna say babies. She's not saying that, but it's babies. She's saying a different word. I'm sorry, Adriana, but I'm gonna say a different word for that. But it's babies, so everyone else understands. But sometimes when the childbirthing happens, the mother's instincts increase and the sounds increase, and they're starting to leave their babies behind because they're thinking that it's the babies, but it's the heightened senses of what is going on around them. So to answer your question, yes, it is ruining it. But also, very importantly, looking at these LED lights and the lights within the cities. And I want to talk about birds because of their migration patterns and the fact that all of these lights, birds have magnetics. I don't know what word she's saying, but they have a certain electricity in their eyes and a certain like she's showing actual like magnet, like actual magnet that you would stick to kind of a fridge, like that kind of energy. And because of the different lights that they are talking or that they're seeing right now, some of the lights are being the same as like the moon energy, and so therefore some are migrating towards the lights of the towns rather than following the lights of the moon. And so that is creating mass problems because if our animals aren't on migrations, our insects aren't on migration. And if the insects aren't on migration, we're going to have a migration of the earth going down because the frequency of all the animals is what's obtaining the nature. And so the more that they get off, the more we get off, the more the actual waves, the more the platelets get off, the more that the water, everything, it creates a whole diversion. So it's a much bigger thing than what people even think about and back down to. So yes, we need to create a soft sound around our animals so they feel good.
And then I want to thank whoever told me to get the live water yesterday.
What's that?
I want to thank whoever told me to go get the live water at the special spring yesterday. I was told to like drop what I was doing and go fill up gallons of water. So I did. I listened and I went and did it. So thank you.
That was Mick behind Kelly.
Thank you.
There. I know he was on a whole kick yesterday. He even reminded me, he's like, you didn't get it. You got to go get it from your truck. So yeah. All right. Well, Kelly, you want to tell them what you can offer them? Or what
Absolutely. You guys,
offer?
we have our magazine and then we also have online. And please write, share. If you have poetry, if you have something to say, please let the edge be your voice and whatever we can do. And Melissa and I can handle the details. Think of it like an open canvas, whatever you want to do. We also have our radio show, but you already have this platform. I mean, whatever I can do and share, you just let me know what you need.
And Kelly is telepathic. She's getting a little more amped up and she's going to be full blown here very shortly. As especially Noah says he's going to work on her and make sure that gets opened up. He's on a mission to open Kelly up here. So I know that she's going to be able to receive that information and whatnot.
You guys let me know what I can do to help you, and I'm wide open and I'm totally like, let's do this.
No, you got something to say? Yeah. There we go. It was just so do you have your letterboard there, Sharon?
I do somewhere. Hang on a second.
Okay. We'll use both of them.
Okay.
Because I know he wants to write something for you special too. So but he's gonna channel in first.
All right.
And so I can just start channeling for him. He says, thank you, friend. Thank you for hearing me, for feeling me, and for being with me last night. And he says, we journeyed very far. I know that we met up in our dreams and we saw some possibilities. I worked on you and did some healing, and you worked on me and did some healing also. There's been a fear that I've had, and you were the first one that felt that last night. There was a little bit of fear, and I don't know where that was or where that was coming from. It just seemed to be somewhere in the existence, but nothing attached to it. And I wanted to thank you for honoring that yesterday, as you said no more fear. And you said no more fear when I was with you. And so I knew with you and how you let it go that I was safe at that point in time, and I was ready to let it go. And so I want to thank you for that healing moment. I want to thank you for being here with me. And I want to thank you for listening to our call, because we have so much more that we're going to do together. And I just wanted to really one-on-one thank you for giving us that opportunity, giving my friends. He said, I don't even need the opportunity, but my friends do, because there are so many that haven't been heard, and so many more need to be heard. And so I thank you for opening your heart up to that, and for allowing that existence of space to happen between us.
Ready? Noah said, Mom needs my support for telepathy. Adriana said, laugh out loud, so true.
Adriana said, get ready, we're going to have fun, because you've always wondered what was in the back of the black hole, and I'm going to take you there.
Let's do it.
So,
No, I love your eyes, man.
yeah, he's staring intently into the camera for you, for sure.
Okay. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelly, so very much.
Thank you for having me.
I know more of them have more to say to you too, but I do want to also move over to Deb, because Deb, this is her first time being here, and prior to the recording, I had asked what she was, what's going on, because I felt just this Kelly. It goes back to curiosity, and I just felt this curiosity about her that I just had to stop and say, hey, what's going on? And she also is doing different events and stuff, and her and Kelly would be good to link up and talk about those events. But Deb, I'm going to bring you on and just tell everyone why you're here.
Thanks a whole bunch, Melissa. I'm surprised I'm getting to talk today. I was hoping to just immerse myself, so thank you for this minute. So about 12 years ago, I have a whole lot of psychic friends, a million of them, and I live 2 hours away from where they all live. I live out in the woods in a log cabin. That's what this is. And I got tired of traveling 2 hours to see them. So I lured them all out to my house for a bonfire and casual readings and just hanging out. They had so much fun that they asked me to do it again the next year. And the next year I decided, well, I'm going to jazz it up a little. I got a storyteller and, a little Celtic music. And the storyteller told a story about fairies. And at the end of the story, one of our members stood up, and she's a walk-in soul. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but she stood up and said, Pan, who is the head of the fairies, has told me if we say his name 3 times, he'll appear. We're in my backyard. I get goosebumps every time I tell this story. So we made a big to-do about it. We dragged out his name, Pan. And I have to digress for a second and say that it was about 150 degrees out that day. And I think the humidity was 2,000. And every plant in my yard was just dying, wishing for rain. And when we finished saying Pan, we're looking around the yard, and all the plants are just falling over except one bush that was shaking as if it were in a hurricane. And I looked at the group and I said, am I the only one seeing this? And everybody else's mouth was hanging open. And so that was the day that I knew that I needed to do more with this. It wasn't just a hangout in my backyard. So it morphed into networking for metaphysicians. And then I realized that I was leaving a whole lot of people out who were just curious about it using today's keyword. And I wanted to give them a place to get introduced to things. But my goal really is to bring the cutting edge, because I have people that have been practitioners forever and ever. And I'm always looking for the cutting edge speaker. And so this year in January, I had begun listening to the telepathy tapes, and I called up Kai and I said, hey, you want to talk at my thing? I told her all about it and sent her to the website, which is worldwidemetaphysicaltribe.com. And she said, yeah, I'd love to do it. It's a 4-day affair. And then telepathy tapes became number one. All this money started falling on her to make a movie. And that ate up all her time. And she called me and said, I can't come, but let's do something else. And so she said, I can drop what I'm doing and do a Zoom. And I said, this takes place at a super cool venue, but it's deep in the woods. And even though there's Starlink and all that stuff available, it's just not, it's going to ruin your flow. So how about if we pre-record? And she said, oh, and I'll answer questions. If people have questions, give them a place where they can write their question, and then I will answer them in a pre-recorded thing. And I will send out our conversation to everyone who has appeared on the telepathy tapes to see if anybody wants to come and appear in person. And Casey Carter raised her hand. And so I got on the phone with Casey, and wow, she blew me away. And I was so excited that she said yes. But I'll tell you what, as soon as I met Kai, I knew that I had lightning in a bottle, and I wasn't sure how to properly showcase and transmit the information. And so, of course, I'm telling everyone to listen to the telepathy tapes. And, my group, especially my core group, is very much into, they've been doing this for their whole lives. So they're more on your track than the telepathy tapes track. But again, that scientific validation, it's good to have. So at any rate, just to tell you about this year, we are on 45 acres in the woods with a big, we have all different kinds of lodging on site and off site. It's actually not that expensive. And we also have lots of vendors and, practitioners. So people love that part of it where we just have time for hanging out, networking, sitting around.
Hear women talk about strength training and they have no butt whatsoever.
I'm sorry? Oh. And, we're going to do sky watching and all that good stuff. So it's a ton of fun to meet new people. And then I always ask everyone who comes to bring a business card, even if you're a realtor or you don't do this as a business, bring your card. And I have you drop one in each goodie bag. And that way everybody goes home with everybody's info so that you can find people again, and you don't have to be taking notes continuously. So we've been doing this. This will be our 12th year. And this is the most exciting year, I think, because I really feel like we've been well, like we said before the recording started, people say, oh, who's going to come and save us? The aliens? And no, they're not going to come and save us. We're going to come and save ourselves. And well, how are we going to save ourselves? We haven't been able to do it so far. Well, new tools are coming on board, or the way Melissa put it, we're digging deeper into the toolbox and finding the ones we forgot about. So bringing those on board changes everything. It's a complete game changer. And I'm sorry, Melissa, you want to say something?
Oh, it's actually Mick. That's how we connect.
Oh.
So he's just feeling a lot of energy. And when he feels a lot of energy, he does this, and that is us just connecting so that he can feel a little better. But he was talking, and as I said, I had somebody that was saying, oh yeah, and the aliens had to come. And while you were talking, he's like, he was kind of raising his hand, but also letting me feel his energy and talking. And he was just saying, when you were talking about the aliens, he said, well, yeah, we are here. we want to talk about us. We want to talk more about us and tell you what we're doing to help you guys. So maybe you guys will understand.
Well, this is so much bigger than I thought it was. And that's why I'm here. I'm joining into several Zooms so that I can really understand the breadth of this, because it's so multifaceted. And I don't want to just go on stage and go, okay, and here's the telepathy twins. They're going to do a little dance and tell you about telepathy. I really want to give this the gravitas it deserves and let people understand that, this is what they've been looking for. Pay attention. As you said, Melissa, pay attention.
Yeah. Kelly, can you unmute? Because Mick does have something to say to her. Hi, Mick. So this one's for so he says this is for all. Thank you, Kelly, for even coming on. You must have felt that one, huh? Mick's like, this is actually for a few people that are in the group right now. But I know he's putting his energy on Deb, and then he's putting his energy on Miss Kelly here too. And he says this: you guys came here because you're ready to unlock the bigger things. You're ready to talk about the things that you've wanted to talk about, that you've seen, that you've experienced, that you've known about all of your life. But so far, you've been afraid to do it alone. You've always felt like you were alone. You've been searching for the people that were ready to say it. And now we're coming out as a group. We have so many of us right now that they can't stop us. We are protected by the divine. We no longer need protection, because if anybody is being hurt, we will know exactly who they are, and where they're being kept. We are an open internet place. We should no longer be in the state of fear. No, because the divine has said that we should do this. We should be in the state of movement. We should be in the movement of, we should be in the state of moving forward. We should not leave any voice unheard. And, that's something that we're kind of working on too. And I know he's part of that project. But he says nobody should be left unheard. Everybody should be heard. And we love that you two are here and more people are here. He says James going to step up, that he's going to be writing, and he's going to be doing a lot of journaling and whatnot. So Aiden's calling him out on that to say, yeah, I'm trying to get Dad to write and get him to go. But it's like a different kind of journaling than like maybe a journalist journal or a blog kind of thing. But Mick says, we're here and it's time. We're at a pivotal point right now where they need us to speak up. We can't sit around anymore and just say, let them be, let's have peace and let them grow and let them learn, because they don't know how to learn. They don't know how to speak. They don't know how to live. They don't know how to breathe anymore. And we are the ones that are here to teach them. So let's open that up. Let's teach them. If their mind's blown and they can't understand the concepts that we're speaking about at that time, that's fine. Give them time, but we'd still have to give them the information, because the information and the knowledge is out there for all of the things that they want to access that's in the bad world. And we have yet, because we've kept it to ourselves. We kept the treasures, we kept the sacred things to ourselves because we didn't want it harmed. But you know what? They're harming it anyways if we don't come and we don't say it and we don't blow this blow this open right now. It's our time. All of the information has been out there. All of the science that is going to be proven has already been proven. All we are doing is putting the equipment to the test, but we're getting to a point where, and he's pointing to his mom, because he says, like mom said, like mom's been researching, and he's to Kelly there, and he says, now is the time where science isn't going to be able to research, and that's also why we stood back, because we've been waiting for science. But the things that we have said, science has already caught up on some of it. Is that not enough? Because we not already proven ourselves to ourselves? Science isn't going to catch the things that we're going to talk about, the concepts that we're going to talk about, because one of the things that we talk about, such as the divine, such as the things that are bigger than anything that this world can conceptualize outside of this universe, then how are you going to be able to say that is true? It's going to have to be on intellectual person, and being able for them to be body smart, mind smart, and spirit smart, so that they understand themselves, because the science is going to be within the body. What is your body telling you? What is your mind telling you? What is your heart telling you? You feel it already, and that's what we need to be teaching. Is we need to be teaching that we are human and we are the scientific equipment. We don't we honor and we recognize and we love and enjoy and want more of the science equipment to be tested. But the biggest equipment is you. And please remember that. And that is why you guys are here. And that is why you're listening, because you do feel that there's something bigger. And I'm going to tell you that it's bigger than anything that you would ever be able to know. But we are here step by step. We're doing it together. And there are people that are ready. I'm ready. My friends are ready. You guys are ready. You're my friends. Let's go. End message. So what do you guys have to say about that one? I need someone else to talk right now. James, where'd you go?
Yeah, I was just thinking I should maybe, since I was called out there.
Yeah, let's go, James.
Yeah, I keep finding myself saying amazing over and over and over again. And this is another example. Um, like 20 years ago, I decided to just start the journal, and here and there, and I in the spurts, and this week, since our last call, I found myself going back looking for old notebooks. I downloaded a dictation app so that I don't have to type and start putting these onto documents and just organizing thoughts. And coincidentally, Aiden's been very vocal this week in a happy way. So that feels really good. So I don't know. I'm just going with it. And I feel it. And now again, to be validated, that's the thing. There's continual validation through this process, I guess, if we are open to it. And that's what's happening for me, for sure. And so thank you for that. And I'm along for the ride, and it's great. And I'm excited where this is all moving towards. I'll let you know when I gather all the thoughts and I'm ready. Or they'll let me know. Maybe Aiden will let you
Well,
know.
he's calling you out, so he says you're ready.
Yeah, right.
You've never told me about the journals. I never knew anything about that,
Exactly.
So.
And when Aiden became open years before the telepathy tapes, this was a theme. He was telling me essentially this, that I can't remember exactly, but that I will be writing, and he wants me to write, and he wants me to tell the story. And I think that's the message that I'm seeing, is that us as individuals, we're all telling our own story, and it's a very similar story. And I think that's the wave that I feel that's happening. That's the tsunami. That's the telepathy tapes. It's undeniable, and we don't need the science to validate it. And I think parents in this community, as long as our children have been on the spectrum, have been shouting, and we haven't been heard. And now that our children have voices, and it's we're starting to collectively be heard, and it's amazing, and things are moving. So it feels really good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you know, there's a lot of people that reach out. Well, we don't have any kids, we don't have any family members, you know, that are on any spectrum. That's amazing. That's awesome, because we're searching for community. I mean, that's what it's about. And that's what I really love. You know, Kelly and Deb both came on, and it sounds like they're wonderful networkers. Noah has just been networking all the time. Actually, I just realized what he was doing. We had a guest here that was seeking his wife, and you know, Noah always says, I'm in my dreams, I'm in my dreams, or I'll be in your dreams. And I realized that I say to go into telepathy, it's almost like an awakened dream state where I just kind of go out, and then I wait for the person to wake up and then to start talking to me. And so it's just a kind of channeling that happens as they kind of utilize my body and then say what they have to say. But I'm also with them and hearing, you know, and seeing their experiences and what it is that they mean. But Noah, if I can't talk to someone, he goes and he brings them into my head and brings that person and himself there, and then I know, because he brings them on the same channel. So together we're always able to reach every single person. And I think that you know, he's good in networking in that way too. And he's leaving it out there right now to say, if anyone wants to network in the dream state, and he's kind of offering this to you, James and Aiden, is that he wants to bring you guys to the dream state so you can start understanding him a little bit more. And anybody on this forum at any point, you know, just say, hey, Noah, can you help me with that? And he'll help. So he's leaving it open for everyone, but especially wants to let you know, Aiden, Kelly, he's definitely working with you in the dreams and whatnot. And yeah. Kelly, you got something to say?
First off, don't do this from my iPad in my bedroom next time. Tammy's, I don't know if it's Tammy or Tammy and her daughter, or Tammy's daughter, what's her name? She keeps
Emma.
talking to me, and I'm so sorry, I don't understand. And I just want to let her know that, like, I'm trying my best, and I'm a quick study, and I promise I'll be there soon. But I see you, and I feel you, and I hear you, and you're pinching my cheeks, and you're giggling at me. But don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. I promise I'm trying. I'm gonna start crying. You guys. This is just amazing.
Yeah, I can, Emma, can I speak for you or with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you, this girl broke my heart the first time I was there. You guys see it on TV. You guys can see it, but she just has the message. And she says, yes, friend, I would really like to be somebody who works with you. I just am on a mission to show the world the beauty and to appreciate and to take second by second, moment by moment. And I want to remind the people of appreciation, of gratitude, and to just tell people how beautiful they really are. I think that people need to remember the beauty. And I'm reaching out to you because you forgot your beauty. And you remember when your mom would say you're so cute and pinch your cheeks and that made you feel good? It's because you felt beautiful in that moment. And that's what I want to do, is I want to remind you that you're beautiful because you haven't felt it in a while. And what you're doing for so many, they don't understand, they don't know, they don't appreciate you. I just want to let you know you're appreciated by us. You're appreciated by spirit. I see lots of spirits over you, and they're there. You don't talk to them. You don't utilize them as much. You stay humble in your mind, but also a little bit scared in your mind. I'm glad that was cleared, but there's still a little bit there. You don't look up enough. You don't talk to them enough and say hi. Uh, that's why you feel so lonely, because they stand around you and they protect you from what is going on. I know that myself. I feel a lot of the emotions of the world. I feel the emotions of people around me. It makes me feel nauseated. It makes me feel like my head hurts, and it makes me feel their power in their bad behaviors and bad thoughts. And you're trying to combat that like I'm trying to combat that. And I feel that. Know that a lot of that isn't you, it's the people around you. And I want you to know that we will co-create a platform of love, because I hear you and I hear your mission, and it's the same as mine, to just love. But please remember that people don't know that. They don't know that feeling. They don't know what that really means. They attribute it to naughty things. They don't attribute it to its pureness. And I have to use a word for her here. Serving is the word that it looks like to me, like love serves. But I know she's saying something else, so I apologize. It's the only word, but she says when you're loving, you have to do less and more happens. When you love, you don't have to worry about the rest of the feelings. When you love, you're not so upset about the things around you or the fact the dishes aren't done, because you're happy about everything and the little things don't bother you. We got to teach them it's a state of being. It's not an emotion that they carry. It's a thing that you are. Can you help me with that, Kelly?
Is your Emma is your name? I just got the sparkles yesterday. I'm supposed to, I don't know why I'm called to tell you that I just got the sparkles yesterday.
Okay.
Emma, are you you're trying to do energy healing too? That's something you want to get into, huh? Kelly's gonna teach you that. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna be a good team. Oh wow, I just saw all these hands and we're like boop 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 boop. Yes, we need to make t-shirts.
Yes.
Yay.
Lizzie, I just feel your energy talking. What do you have to say? I didn't mean it in that rude. I just feel like hello. And she's a wonderful person on our podcasts. She gets on here a lot, but I just feel your energy, so excited to talk about things. So I didn't mean to say, what do you have to say? What do you have to say? We love what you have to say always. Are you there, Lizzie? Did you want to talk?
I can't say too much
Okay.
while I'm I have so much to say, but I can't say too. Ooh, maybe in a little bit. Could I share some pictures? Cool. People can talk and then I'll pop in when I have those.
Okay. I just felt the sporadic energy all over. Like, I got this to say, and this to say, and this question, and this question, and this question, and I'm catching them the whole time, but it's going at such a processing fast speed that I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna let you try to talk. But Brandon, hi. You want to talk to Kelly? Yeah. You want to talk to everyone? Okay. What do you want to say? Miss Brenda, there we go. I know he kind of hums and he makes some noises sometimes. Now he's a very interesting one because now that he's been doing telepathy, he has been pulling back on talking so much. Usually he would, he liked to say his words and like to speak, but now he's kind of pulling back on that. But he has so much to say within this world. So, all right, Brandon, I am ready. But if you want to say anything verbally, please interrupt me. Hi, everyone. I'm Brandon. I know a lot of you, if not all of you, already know me because we've really met in spirit, and I've been trying to come out and I've been trying to do justice into this world. I really want to integrate a different type of healing, and that healing is going to be something that everybody would be able to do at any point in time within themselves, within the surroundings. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. I see it energetically happening, so I'm going to have to bring it forth to this place. But right now, I want to offer this for you. Your words, your actions, your energy, that is the healing, that is the changing, that is the thing that is going to allow our universe to be able to come to completion. A lot of people think that it is broke. A lot of people think that it is broken, that it's destroyed, that there's a lot of things wrong with it. But the thing is it's just a work in progress. We haven't completed the earth yet. We haven't finished it yet because we haven't got the codes right. And so this,
Rubik's
sometimes I
Cube.
just, what's that?
We're trying to do it. It's like, it's the Rubik's Cube. I just keep
Yeah.
saying Rubik's Cube. We just keep doing the Rubik's Cube.
That's funny because I'm like, he's trying to show me this spinning like puzzle thing that like there's pieces that and I'm like, what is that? Thank you. See why you got to be here, Kelly? He says we haven't got the codes right and it hasn't been to the completion. Every time we get close, there's some distorting imaging that is happening, or some of the energy just falls out and we have to have somebody go back and receive it from a different planet to put it back into its place. But we would like the help to complete this earth. We would love for people to know how to come together within themselves, within each other, within the universe, and to realize that their energy is responsible for all of it. You're not an individual. You are not weak. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how angry you are. It doesn't matter how sad, how happy, how anything. Every single action, every single atom within your body is taken into consideration of the entire whole. And so we need to understand that and know that we are very small. We are much smaller. As we look out into the world, it seems like we're really big, right? But why don't we zoom out? Because we're all on one planet. There really is no real separation other than our countries and what the humans have made as to be a separation. And so moving forward, take note that everything that we do, everything that we print, everything that we say, everything matters in such a delicate way. Put the energy behind it that you want to be seen into this world. Deb, Kelly, you talk about how you want to expand, you want to open up the curiosity, you want to go deeper. So while you are doing your events, while you're talking, and he's putting it into the whole again, and he said, even Lizzie, we need to put in that energy to say, hey, we want this to be divine. You don't need to do anything else. Don't put anything else behind it. Say, may this be in a line with the divine, and where it needs to go, who it needs to get to, and who needs to be there at the exact place, exact time, exact. He's even showing longitude and latitude within like the whole space. He said, it's all needed, and what needs you will be heard, but not everyone that you think you need to hear you needs to hear your words. So just know that as you put this out, the people that need it will hear it. Those that won't might go against you, and they might call you silly. They might call you a fluke, and that's okay. We need them too. Ask them questions. Talk to them. Why is their view that way? Because we can learn from that, and we can experience from the opposite side. So lean into the resistance as much as you lean into the push, because both are needed to be a whole. Oh, that was a good one, Brandon. Does anyone have to say anything to that? Go ahead and just unmute if you do. No? All right. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that they want to say? We'll open this up to open forum now. Louise, hello. Oh, yep. Go ahead, Tammy.
I just want to say, in thinking what Brandon just shared, that I really appreciate him bringing out how we should also look at what's coming against us to ask the questions and to get more information from both sides, because we all are one, no matter if we're where different perspectives are coming from. So I wanted to thank him for sharing that information. That was really helpful for me.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you for letting me say a little bit today. I really, really enjoy this group. You've got so much energy and so much good stuff. I've been taking notes through the whole time I've been here, but I do have to go. But I'm going to keep my eye open for more time to spend with you, because this was really, really, really eye-opening, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one. And if you ever need, more speakers, Noah says, let us know. We'll be there. And he says for anyone, if you guys want any information, y'all need speakers, anybody out there, let us know. We're more than willing to accommodate to the easiest accommodations, and do the biggest things at the same time. So just to let anyone know. Bye, Deb. Lizzie, was that you saying you're ready, or James?
No, I don't want to take away anyone's time, but if Lizzie's ready. But just the question to get out there for later is earlier I was asking about the attending to multiple conversations at the same time, which potentially could tie into just how the telepathy is working as far as like lines of communication is how I see it. And in the past, Aiden had said that he can look people up. And when I tried to clarify that, and I said, so basically, are we all working on our own frequency, and you can go find such and such? And he said, yes. So that's the general broad question is, how does it work?
Yeah, no, perfect. And I did want to talk about that. Lizzie, did you want to say anything, or should we talk about that? And we'll be able to
I was
answer.
just going to say that Sophia has her hand raised, so she could go first, and that I have my pictures ready that I just wanted to. Do you want to say hi? And Frida wants to say hi. So, Sophia, if you want to go first, then I could share my pictures.
All right. Hi, thanks, Lizzie. I just had a question about working in the dream state and then connecting the bridge from dream state to awake state, because I feel like there's a lot going on in the dream state, but I'm not so aware of it when I'm awake. And I was wondering how I can, I guess, wake up in my dreams so I can remember my wake state, or if I could do something else to understand what's happening in the dreams during my wake state. I was wondering if somebody could kind of talk about that.
That would definitely be a Noah question. So, and Adriana's even getting some downloadings and stuff right now from the Galactic. You know, she's been working a lot on that. All right. Well, let's shine. Noah. Oh, Adriana.
And a wee night.
So Adriana is actually talking about in her life, the awakened state seems the dream state. And so how do you differentiate between the two of them? Because when I'm awake, I feel like this is my dream. I feel like this is not my reality. This is just a state that I have chosen to be in. And it is not the real me. I can't seem to touch down as everything around me is always changing and modifying, and things that don't make sense seem to make sense with the state of being. So we have to first look at what is dreaming and what does that mean to somebody, because somebody who is very attached to the spirit world, to be awake in the human life seems like a dream state. And I know both Mick and both Mick and sorry, I was just reading a comment there, and Noah are kind of chiming in there too, because I know Mick says, yes, I very much feel, the same way. And I feel a lot like when I'm in this state of being that I'm not really here. I'm not actually here. And so therefore I'm not connecting very well. Sometimes my body doesn't even feel like it's my body. And so I guess a state being has to be a certain vibration within our body, a certain rhythm that is happening within our mechanical wave. And the mechanical wave starts something that then ignites the electromagnetic wave. And the two of them together bring a conscious state and a mindful state of being that puts us into a he's going state of being into a different state of being, a different realm. And it's when the mechanical and the electromagnetic waves meet at the exact same frequency, and then you have spiritually mindfully and physically been able to meet in that state. And that state of being causes us to he's fading out now too. And Noah's coming in. All right, we'll go with Noah then. Goodness gracious, you all. I love how they all they love to share too. But I know Aiden is he's a dream stater too. So Noah says, yes, it's the pockets of the in-between life when the complete balance comes together, then there is a certain rhythmic a part of you that bumps you into another state of being. It's like a certain pocket in time. Yes, time might be going around you, but it's as though it doesn't exist within you. So when you're looking at the dream state and wanting to remember anything that was there, then start to acknowledge everything that you remember. Have a journal, have a a device that's next to you. And when you wake up in the morning, say everything that you remember. Even if you don't remember, just mumble whatever comes out of your mouth, because sometimes the subconscious, well, being brought into the conscious state, creates the memories and the rhythms of what is going to be happening now. And so therefore it is a state of awareness that needs to be brought to the state of dream. And with that, that can happen in a few different ways. You can have certain aromas, certain smells that can be next to you, or you can, he's pointing, like I always hold my place and time whenever I'm doing healings or I'm doing something. He said it can be a certain pillow, a certain movement of your hands, but right before you go into dream and you're trying to sleep, that you can do a movement or do a sound, he says. So I'm just going to give you an example and get on in with him for a bit. So let's say I'm going into my dream state and I know I'm falling asleep. Maybe I do this. And I just hold my hand like this because my physical body is knowing that I'm going into the dream state. And he said you can initiate that dream state by something that you do. So hold this, hold a specific sign. Then when you go to sleep, when you wake up, hold that sign again. And every time before you're going to go to sleep, do the same pattern, whether that be a smell, a sound, whatever, a squeeze, whatever. And then that way, when you're in your state, you can then start to initiate yourself, and you can make a certain sound or a wave within your body that will meet up with that electric state of being. So then you can, oh, well, what was I dreaming about last night? And then this is the reminder, because this is the physical, and the conscious will be signaled, or the spirit will be signaled. That's actually cool. I never thought of that. That's so easy. Why did you never say that before, Noah?
Is that why he would always, in the
Yes.
morning, I catch him like that for
Yes.
the last few years? Yeah. Yeah.
He says, no one ever asked.
I talked about it all the time. It's like, why does he have this antenna every morning? But
You
yeah,
have asked. No,
I have. I didn't know.
Was it just not the right way, or what?
I guess because I'm mom, they don't tell me things. They have to be on a board of at least
I
20
guess.
people. Yeah. But now we know, because he does. He wakes up and there's an antenna. The covers are covered up, and I see a finger as an antenna. Mm-hmm.
All right. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's really fascinating because what I do sometimes is I lay next to my son and I enter a state of like half awake, half asleep. And when I'm in that state, he gets very quiet and I feel like we're connecting. But then I go into sleep and then he makes a sound to wake me and jar me and bring me back to the half awake state. And so then I was wondering, like, how can I connect all the states where I'm aware of all the states, and have everything happen in my dream state, and also for me to remember it in my wake state, and also in the in between as well. So that's what I was wondering about that. Yeah, that really helps.
Good. Yeah, that was a good. I'm even going to try it now. Doing something like that.
All the way down this hallway.
All right, Lizzie, show us your pictures here.
A basketball court upstairs. Oh, I'll see where they kind of intersect. So thanks so much, man.
So Lizzie is showing. Okay.
Can you see?
We can see, and explain to some of the listeners too, because this will be on podcast for some of them, if you could. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I did this on a recent meeting we had with other facets of our collective, and it really resonates with like the message Emma had been sharing. And so when I walk around my neighborhood, I'm always taking pictures, and the world is waking up, but the world also knows how to rest and to sleep. So here are two little purple flowers. Oh, I forget what they're called. I'm learning their names slowly, but you also don't always need to know their names. Okay. Oh, I put in the corner, woodland crocus. Hello. There we go. Here is a branch, I think, of a maple tree, and the buds are just coming out on a blue sky. It looks like it's reaching. Here was a little closer up, and the buds are in various stages of bloom. For work, last week we went to a reservoir that's in our county. So this is looking out over the water, and there's a bird flying over in a bright blue sky. This is I believe, a magnolia tree. And I have all these thoughts because this kind of magnolia tree is technically invasive, but I have all these thoughts that have come from like the world of disability justice, which is something I really want to insert into our world about that. I don't know the name of this. I see them all the time, but they're these puffy little plants, puffy white ones. This is a tiny little bloom in my backyard from a silver maple tree, and it's bright red and it looks like it has little fingers. Then we got some rain, and this is the reflection of trees in a puddle. Different ways to see the same thing. This is some more buds on a tree. There's a bird near the lower left, and the sun is shining through the branches. This is the lilac bush in my backyard, and the little blooms are coming out. This was yesterday on the silver maple tree, and look at them. They've like burst, and they're these little golden green shoots coming through the red. And this is the lilac bush yesterday or this morning. They're starting to open up and unfurl, just like all of us are. And then this is a close-up of moss in my backyard, which has only been possible because we stopped treating my yard. Circling back to the whole pets and allergies thing, I think one of the things that really affected Frida was treating our lawn. And I mean, there's a whole gamut of things that led to her being so much better now. But rediscovering like moss in my backyard has been such a delight. I think that's the last one. Yeah. Thanks for letting. Oh, I'll say this last thing because Helen Costa had posted in one of the groups talking about like the different ways we communicate. And so being able to share my pictures is like, and dreams and all of the things, like finding different ways to communicate offers different vantages and different experiences. And but we have this hierarchy of like speech and talking being the top one, and that's just been embedded in us. So I love challenging that. Thanks.
Thank you. Those are beautiful pictures. And then, yeah, that's exactly what Emma was saying. Stop and see the beauty. You are so far advanced as far as opening up your spring compared to us right now. I'm looking at your pictures and I'm like, we have nothing that's budding right now. We still got snow on the, in fact, it's snowing right now. So, thank you, Lizzie. And That was awesome. And then, yeah, that's exactly it. Stop and take the pictures like that. I know Noah's just looking at Elwood over here too, but I want to go over to James. And James, I know you for the third time today. Can you present your question for me about the multiple communications?
Yes. Curious, overarching question, just the telepathy communication lines, how they're working, and the attending to multiple conversations at once. Just sort of rolls into well, where I gave an example where Aiden had said that he can find people, and I sort of asked for clarification on that. Is that like, is it similar to we all have our own frequency and he can go look people up, and he said basically yes, that's how it works. So I was wondering about that, and I think what was interesting too is to see Noah and Adriana in the gym working out while you were channeling them. So that was pretty amazing, that even just exerting yourself physically in a dedicated movement, but yet you're still able to be free and express so much through the telepathy. So just any insight that seems to jive with those questions, I guess.
Sure, absolutely. I'm going to bring it to you in a few different questions. So actually, your son will come through. I'm saying, "Who wants to?" And I hear me, but he goes, "No, it's a question for me." So he'd actually like to answer it. So he's going to answer it a little bit differently than maybe what I thought. And he said it's a running faucet of water. Telepathy is a running faucet of water, and you have multiple drips in there, but you can't see the difference. But each single drip, each single drop, each single molecule of water has its own signature. You would be able to take a bucket and you can put it under a microscope and you can see the separation of everything. And telepathy is like that. It's about finding that signature, finding that separation between the whole and saying, you're the one that I connect with, and taking one drop and putting it into two drops and then making a bigger drop. And he said that in essence is actually what telepathy is that it is the constructive interference. Constructive interference is when two different things come together and it causes the interference so that one acknowledges the other one. But when they acknowledge the separation in the two, they see that there's separations and that the things that they brought prior to that situation can be beneficial for both. And so therefore they come together. Those molecules build something else other than themselves. It creates a chemical reaction, and therefore that chemical reaction has its own signatures, such as hydrogen, oxygen does. And when we put those things together, now we make water. So two substances coming together make one bigger thing. And that's what telepathy is. And that's what it's like when we're around it. Now, then there's the open interference, and that open interference and deconstructive interference would much also be like water. And when water and the different energies are coming through, then it knows that separation, and sometimes that memory of one specific drop and the memory of it something else, or even that energy of it, it will cause it to separate. And so therefore there's that separation. Now you don't witness the separation. It would be like standing in a coliseum and being able, he's showing sports, so maybe you're into sports or somebody he knows more. But like if you're at the beginning of or if you're in a sports game, let's say that you were at the Super Bowl and you were one of those that were physically attending, would you be able to stand out and say on camera, that was me in the stands? No, you wouldn't. But you would know that you're an individual person that are in the stands, and anybody that knew where your seat was, knew exactly where you were, would be able to find you and say, hey, James, hi. Anyone that previously had met your energy would be able to know you. Hey, hi. And so when we're talking sometimes through the telepathy, yes, there can be individual conversation, but you're also aware of all the rest of the conversation that's going on. Just like if you were sitting in that sports field, you could hear everybody else talking. And at any point in time, you're aware of the conversations that were around you. And you could also at any time engage into the conversation with the people. And so that is a lot of what telepathy is. Now, this is an individual experience that I'm talking about of you sitting and you being in the sports field and being able to engage into a conversation. Now, our human selves, we can hold that one conversation at a time because we are limited by only having one mouth, and we're limited by having two ears, and those two ears open us up to be able to hear everyone, but the one mouth doesn't allow us to be talking to everybody. Spirit talks to everybody at once because it's not limited by this. It's a energetic movement of the person that is going through. When we're speaking telepathy, we're not utilizing our words, we're utilizing frequencies, we're utilizing shapes, colors, different numbers, different memories and experiences, different persuasion of how the energy needs to be acknowledged and it needs to be accepted. And so therefore, we can see it all. We communication to us would be like more opening your eyes and seeing that everybody's there and having the ability, because you know their signatures, because you know what they're letting off, you know, such as the universal toruses that is at everyone, and that mechanical bioelectromagnetic and magnetic energy that's going, it becomes the person becomes more of an illusion rather than something of substance. And when we are seeing them within that illusion, if you think about the northern lights and how they open up and they spread, that's kind of what I'm talking about, the illusion. You know that it's there, you know that it's speaking, and you integrate with it. So therefore you're part of everything. You know, some people can stop and they can stare and they think that it's just that oneness, but the truth is that telepathy is a state of being. It is not a state of mind. And when you're in a state of being, you are every single thing all at once. At the same time, you are nothing at all because there's no individuality. Going back to the water, you can't just pinpoint that one unless you stop the whole and you divide it. Otherwise, you would know that there's no seclusion between things. But the truth is, once you look into it, there is, but there's also not. And this is going back to the mechanical waves again, into an ocean, that it is something that those molecules will go out and start to create the whole wave and that physical thing from coming. And that wholeness, that energy that's tapping into the physical substance can help make movement. But that electromagnetic energy is attached to all of that energy. And so we're aware of all of the energy because our earth is a magnetic source and an energetic source that's always continuously running electricity. So therefore we're all of it and part of the whole. And it's just about, once we know that signature, it's no different than finding somebody's phone number and saying, well, this is somebody's phone number. You just start to dial in their digits, but it would be like talking on like this. It's just like this. There are many conversations going on right now, and it just looks like we're all being still, but we're having multiple. Kelly has picked up on a lot more than what she's been saying this whole time. And as my friends are, in fact, we're all trying to talk at once. And so we're all in that state of oneness together. And everybody has simultaneously at different times chimed in. And also all of you, if you could even raise your hand and either turn on video or raise your hand in the chat room, how many of you during this conversation that I just had felt what I was saying right now as I was saying it? So put your hands up either in the chat room or not. So here we have, an easy 6 of us. Wow. That we're feeling that conversation all at once. And it wasn't my words. He was individually saying something to all of them. So if anyone has anything to add on that, chime on in.
Hi. I wanted to share an experiment that I had 25 years ago. It's the same that you were talking about, Melissa. It was like if I was in a big ocean or a swimming pool, and I knew I was inside there, but it was not me as a body, just me as a spirit. I would say that would be the most simple. And in this ocean, there were all different drops, which were all different spirits. And the way I was hearing everybody was by being curious. Okay, what is going to happen? So being curious was the key. And my intention was to learn something funny. And I had all this spirit showing me all the different emotions they were having. And I was like, okay, I know this one. I don't care. I know this one. So I got to the other one, and then the other one, and then I got to one emotion, and I didn't know what it was. So I listened. Listen is not the right word, but I put my attention on this emotion, so because I had something to learn from it. So that could explain the way everybody's talking all together, but I just want to learn something. I want to learn something. Everything that I know, I don't want to hear. Maybe that could help.
I like that saying. I like that. Everything I know, maybe I don't want to hear, but we have, I always, with my vision and everything that I see, though, I'm always seeing things. And I went a whole week not seeing anything. So I think it's scarier to not see or not hear. I'd rather know everything going on. But I don't know. It's each their own. I guess it's whatever you're used to. Elwood, I would like to come over to you and just see what's going on with you. Why are you in here? I know Noah is just concentrating on your energy here.
Hi. So I'm basically here because, well, my coworker told me about the telepathy tapes. I listened to those, and then something in me was like, I want to get involved somehow. So started looking on Facebook and eventually found this. And I feel like Noah may be the one who called me here, but I don't, at this juncture, I'm just kind of like observing and, yeah, I mean, I am a healer, so, maybe I could get involved some way with that, but yeah, that's about it.
So Noah has a message for you, and he definitely did call you there, and he's saying, hello, brother. Hello, sister, but both. So brother, sister, we have been together many life formations and in many different ways as family members, even cousin. Hello, cousin. He says we have been together in so many different lives, and I'm really happy that I have you in this lifetime now too. And so oh, it's okay. Who's upset? There's a child that's upset here. Whose kid is upset here? Yours, Cindy? What's going on? That's who she's working. She says there's somebody who's really upset and mom needs to ask a question. We need to do energy. Maybe so
He wants me to build him a marble run right now. He's been asking for a while in the meetings. Like I've been dying to sit in. This is my first time. I'm so excited to be here, but he is like, build me this marble run, mom.
Okay.
We had to do that when they were little.
Yeah,
well,
it's not.
let's see if he wants to talk at all, because I see
Jason. Oh, that's his brother.
Okay.
That's he's the
Yeah.
talker. This is
Oh, you're okay.
Jason. Come say hi. Hi to our friends. There he
Aha.
is.
Oh, wow.
There's our friends. He's been
Wow.
going bzz, bzz all
Okay. So
day.
Noah just linked up with Elwood. And he's claiming like we've been together, brother, sister, cousin, so many lives, need you in my life, want you here. I called you. We've dreamt of each other. We've experienced so much in this life. And then she's going over to him and saying, well, I have a brother, sister, cousin too.
Mommy,
oh my gosh, your energy is insane together. What was his name again, Cindy?
Jason.
Jason. Hi, Jason.
You say hi. He's been the bee all day, all day.
Yep. Hi. Adriana says hello, friend, and says yes. You're a very important person in the life too. I've been working on you, and we've had a lot to do. So he must do a lot of toning, like speak.
Yes.
Because she said he's just like me and came into this life to be just like me. And we came to tone together, and we came to show the people the black hole. And he said, thank you, friend. I know now we have 3 of us here that are interested in that. She says that he actually does coding with his mouth and coding with his hands. He does a lot of hand movements and stuff a lot.
Yes.
She says he's getting the information, and she said through his words and through what he does with his hands, he's trying to change the energy, but he gets really upset on a daily basis. She says he's not one of the. Some people are calm, and then they have a problem. She says no, he's frustrated. He is upset because the energy is not right, and he said it's like somebody comes and knocks down she says it's like when you build Jenga, if somebody knocks it down before he plays it, and he's like, I spent all my time to put it together and I wasn't able to do so. And so he's always stuck in loops. She says he has so many loops that he goes into that he gets stuck on, and she wants to help him with his looping.
Oh my. I'm trying to hear you.
You're okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to talk to you the same time that we're talking. It's all recorded, so no worries. No worries. Yeah.
He's like, my boss is like saying,
Yeah.
He's saying, yeah.
Yep.
And 10.
Thank you, Jaxie.
Yeah, thank you for telling us. Adriana just side vibe. She wants to work with him. She says, yes, I know. But we need to work together. We're family too. Now she says she's gonna work on calming him down right now because he's really excited around the energies here. Elwood, I'm gonna go back over to you and Noah. Noah says, we've had many dreams together, many realities that we bumped. You haven't told anybody yet who you are in this world. You've maybe said, yeah, I do this and I do that. He goes, but you haven't told anybody who you actually are, because every time that you feel who you are, you get too excited and he's showing different emotions, like not just woohoo, that's who I am, but like excited, like that's a lot, that's a burden, I don't know. And he said it feels like a big waves coming at you and you get too afraid, thinking that you can't hold your ground, forgetting that you've made a raft all of your lives and you've been ready for this, and that your raft is one of those. He says it's like you didn't even make a boat, you made a circle, and you're just used to twisting, because every time you get to that top and you're ready to ride the wave, you just fall back down, and then you say, oh, okay, I'm not worth it. And he says it was just that you meant for yourself to always go up and down. You were never meant to just rise. You were never meant to stay fallen. You were meant to go up and down because you asked in this life to experience the whole. And so you've had to experience lots of tragedy, lots of pain, lots of abandonment, people who were close to you leaving, things not working out, your help is not accepted the way that you have wished it to be accepted. And so he says that made you pull back a little bit in life because of the fact that he says the help that you were willing to give people was to give to those that were too weak to receive the amount that you were giving them. And so they dropped it and ran and told you that it was your mess to pick up, when they didn't realize that it was your help that was being offered. And what was in that package was food and nutrients that they could have had. But instead they said, no, this is too heavy and I don't want it. And they left it and ran. And you took a lot of time and love to put into that. And he said, it's time. You know telepathy. He says you're very psychic in multiple different ways, but emotions has taken you down, and that's what's holding you back right now. We're gonna work through that. And don't worry. I get sad and I get upset too because of what's happening. And I sometimes, and he said, it's just a thought. It's just a thought of they don't deserve me. They, he says, we all have that. And maybe they don't, but you know what? We're going to feed them anyways. And you and I, we have the same heart and we have the same love. And no matter how many times people told you you weren't it, you always knew that you were. And no matter how many times people said they didn't care, or they didn't love, you said, that's okay. I'll love and care for you anyways. And you have the same heart as mine. Your non-problem that you have, which you think is a problem and other people think is a problem, when you do your energy work, maybe some people say they didn't feel a lot, or they weren't going through a lot. He says that's because you're so gentle and you don't push and you don't pull like other healers. You just go with the natural state of flow, which is the better healing for all. So know that you are just gentle and you are just love and you are just going with the flow and you're not pushing or pulling. And I respect you more for that, because many push or pull or they think they need more, and you just know how much is needed. End message.
I guess, yeah, I'll have to process that, but yeah, definitely accurate, and thank you. Thank you. I look forward to working with you, to Noah and all of you, getting to know you guys better. And I think that's all I'm going to say for now.
Yep. So just between you and Noah, and yeah, feel them. We are coming down to the end of the second hour. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Kelly, I know you've been part of this. You made the call. You're the reason we started this. And I know Emma, I know Mick, Finn, who's not on here. Finn wants to write. I know a few of them want to write to you, and they'll get that over to you. I shouldn't say so much. Sorry, guys. But Kelly, what are you thinking after coming into this group, feeling
This has
them?
just been so amazing, you guys. It just feels like home. I've been just drinking this in. Kind of glad I'm sick, because I was able just to really just sit here and be present. Yeah. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share with me? Okay. And an hour too. I know we'll be hanging later.
Oh yeah. I know they're all talking to you like, hey, we got stuff to talk about for sure. Carmen, I wanted to give you a chance. I know you had said you were kind of struggling there. Do you want to come on? Do you have anything you want to say, or do you want any channeling done?
Hi. Yeah, I was just about to log off and leave. Yeah, I usually have to multitask. So been connected with my son Adam since birth, and in the last couple of years, it's like I can't even reach him. He's been put on medication, and I feel like he's just not as connected. I just can't connect with him anymore. And sometimes he didn't even want me to be in the same room with him. And I'm trying to make that connection again. So, and it's so interesting just listening to everybody, especially the kids. I think it was Brandon's message that got me thinking that from the beginning, when I started taking Adam to doctors, invariably they would always say, well, let me look at you, mom. And it was always like Adam was always referring, well, take a look at her, she needs healing. first before you addressed me, and this happened over and over again. There was an incident many years ago. I did the walking through the fire, through the coals thing that you do with the Anthony Robbins, So I did that. Adam must have been about 6 at the time. And I heard his voice after I walked through the coals. When I got to the other side, I heard him say, "I will get my voice when you find yours." So this was 2 decades ago. And so I'd always been on that journey of, okay, what do I have to do to get my voice? But I still had,
still going.
I
It's
had
closer
that
to 3, still
connection.
going.
I had that connection with him, all those years, except for the last 5 years. And I don't know if it's the meds that have pulled him away. A lot of turmoil going on with his father and my relationship. Anyway, so I could go on, but that's what I'll say.
So there's a few factors that are going on as I'm connecting to him. And one of the factors is that his role in the world changed. So his role was to actually help you heal, was to take care of you, was to take care of the family, wanted to come in and integrate a different way of living, said you need patience, to slow down, to admire, to acknowledge, to appreciate, and to really get some ancestral lineage healing that's been going on. And that was what he had in the first state of his life. And then it changed as he started to develop those skills, and as he started to heal and he started to help, and you guys started to actually soften. I know that you're talking, there's a little turmoil, but he's saying as you started to soften, then it became more. He got called spiritually to do more. And as he went spiritually to do more, he's been stepping outside of this earth. He's been actually doing some, he says bidding for the gods. So I don't know what that means, but it's almost like fighting or choosing or saying, hey, stay in your lane kind of thing. But it's not bidding as we think about it. So Noah, can you help me out on this one? What does the bidding mean?
Can I
Yeah.
say something?
Yeah.
So the last time that anyone got through to him and his message came out, that was so unexpected. And he said, and it had to do with this world, with the current events. And he said, what's happening in the world now, I've seen before during the Orion Wars. And so that he and his peers have been working on that. So it seems like that message was just so much bigger than me, obviously.
Okay. Yep. And that makes sense too, because I was seeing a god, and he's like in between. So it wasn't a bid. But it was almost, so Noah had said, he's the mediator between them. So it's not bidding. Mediation would be a better word in this world. And he says he's mediating between, and so having to go between both worlds. So he comes here, he acknowledges, he sees, he experiences, and then he goes there. And it's almost like there's several, well, not almost like, he says there's several gods right now that are trying to run this world, and all of the gods are in war. And I need to be the one to stop them from the war that they're trying to rain down on, because they're all trying to change the energies of the human and make it their way, but they need to understand that it's our way. It is the way of the world. And so therefore I'm the one that's going between to talk to them. It's not a separation within you, Mom. It's a separation within me, that my presence, my goals got to be at a greater height, and therefore I need you to be protected, because the closer that I am to you, the more that they're going to get to you. You're one of the things that I rely on to calm down. Yes, what is going on between you and Dad and the family. He says in the family, so there must be some friction on your side of the family also pertaining to this. He said it's so insignificant. Yes, I feel, yes, I acknowledge it, but until you acknowledge the fact that there are multiple dimensions that you cross through also, I can't keep you safe because you try to stay in this one. And so safety to me comes at not having closeness to you, because whoever I'm close with, they find, and then they tag them. And I don't want you to be tagged. I don't want you to be found. Sometimes when they find you, they come at you. So I don't know if he's aggressive or it's his words or his actions, but he says when they find you, they come after you. Does he get aggressive with only you, or does he say words with only you?
He gets aggressive with his father.
With his father.
It's almost like they provoke each other, and so I've been staying out of the way because the aggression has been at an all-time high. So and I always think that his father is, in the last 5 years, has not been himself.
No, okay. I get it. So he even gets in the fight. Okay. So he gets in the fights in between you guys and takes that so that it doesn't end up on you. And so he's taking that for you. He's does dad come at you? I mean, and you don't need to. I don't even need you to say that out loud, but it must be some kind of aggression, because he says when they find you, they're aggressive on you. But I don't know if that's through him or maybe it's the people around, or around getting aggressive with you. And it could be in words too. It doesn't need to be physically.
Yeah, it is in words. It is in words. And I've found in the last 4 or 5 years that his father is just not the same. And so, there's got to be a dissolution of the marriage because, I feel like it's affecting Adam so much. Yes, I always think that his father is mentally, just to put it lightly, losing it, so to speak. But yeah. So, and just not himself.
He says too many emotions, don't know how to compute it. And so the emotions shut his physical self down. So he almost seems emotionless. And he says, I keep trying to get his emotions to move out of him, and he's not moving them out of him. He's become a pillar of emotions, which then leaves his shell outside, emotionless. There's actually a lot of deep love there for you, though, too, that it just doesn't know how to express it or say it. And so it comes out in shame and guilt. But I mean, you guys would actually probably be able to save yourself. And it would just be him saying, I'm sad, I'm upset, I'm frustrated, and being vulnerable. He says he's not vulnerable enough. And really, that's kind of what you're looking for, is because otherwise you feel like he says sometimes you feel like you're the mental one because you're the only one showing the emotions.
Makes sense. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Louise, I keep looking at you and I know we're just getting to that 2 hours. What's going on with you? Tell me why you're here. And your energy is palpable today. Oh, we got to ask you to unmute here. There we go.
Oh, did that by accident. Oh, there we go.
Did you?
Yeah. Like the last week, what has been going on energetically, and particularly with the last full moon and the eclipse, those 3 nights, I hardly slept. Like one night I went to bed at 3 o'clock. The next night I got up at 3 o'clock. And then it was like 1 o'clock, and like some stuff that's been going on. It's like some of the happenings, it's like it's stuff that you would have in like paranormal, weirdy sort of films. You know, I work with spirit and stuff, and had some mega healings and readings. Like a big part of what's been going on is just like shared this being a person and just be energy and surrender to being the vessel, being like we do with like Reiki, where you just allow it to flow through. But this is like with energy, healing, messages, spirit, psychic surgeons, the animals, the elements, sounds, because I use my voice as well, and instruments, whatever. And it's like, it's just everything all in one go. And it's like, when I was at this fair, it was like, just don't worry about what anyone thinks. This is what you're here for. And I just had to like, because did a reading, a mediumship reading with a guy. He was just grey rocking me. But what I got was like, when he then opened it up, it just all made sense. It all made sense. So this morning though, because it was funny, so this morning I think was your night time, and what you were saying about opening up to multiple people all doing stuff at the same time. I'll get like groups of spirits together sometimes. Like I had a mum, so the guy's dad and his grandparents, the three of them together next to me. The messages were coming through the dad sort of thing. But this morning, my tinnitus in this ear was completely different. It was like a really loud, deep hum. And I put on some music on my phone, and it was like in my ear, like pressure in my ear. So I put a clip on that someone put, so an interview that I wanted to listen to, same thing. I washed my dishes and the water swilling around in the pan. I had the same. So I'm like, okay, something's going on. I just need to sit in meditation, made my mama cacao and just sat in silence, allowed it to come in. And I did my chakras. So going into each one, I do the chakra vowel sounds, did that. Each time I was working with one, something else was happening, other vibrations and things were like my nose would clear or some popping would happen. There's a sound like an sound that I've been given to put into my aura, into my energy field, and I've been doing that for a few weeks. So it's to energize my energy field or protect it or whatever, I don't know. So I was doing that, and then it said then I just got to put it out to the room. So all my energy was, my energy field was the room basically. And then I felt like it was people with autism coming to have healings, coming into the energy space to have the healings. This happens when we do things like psycho pumps anyway. You know, you have like the spirit, I'll say the psycho pumps on the spirit side will bring the souls that need to go to the light, they'll bring them in. So we don't have to go and find them, and then they'll go to the light. So it's like we just need to be there. So it was like all I needed to do was to create the energy, and whoever was coming in was coming to get the healing, the balancing, the ground, and whatever needed. And I sat there, I'm like, my monkey brain came in, and it was like, oh, come on, you're just Louise, that you can't be doing this sort of thing, you know, just do massage and yoga, and it's like, just do your normal stuff, but it's not this. That's like too mega for me. And no word of a lie, a fly, there hadn't even been a fly anywhere, just went zoop past my head, and I was like, what? And then I just relaxed into it even more and energized. And then a friend called, and I was telling her what was going on because I got really emotional. And I've got my lip piercing, and it was like that became a conduit for even more energy, because it was like my mouth into my ear was a singing bowl. Each time I would stop speaking, it stopped. But every time I was speaking, this singing bowl was going through my mouth and into my ears and sending all this energy out as like confirmation. Yes, this is true. And it was like, is this, I was looking in other ways to maybe try and help, but maybe, and we said about tinnitus before. I've mentioned that because something just before happened in my ear again. And it's like, I don't know, when you were doing stuff in the night, which was our morning, was it you lot going, come on, yes? Because I've just had to like really release that I'm not this person. Not, I gave into it at the weekend, that my purpose is to just be energy, to just switch me off and just be there, which is just, and that's part of my issue in myself, in my human body self, is to just go, well, that's making me even more weird. Everyone thought I was weird and on my own planet before, and even more so now. But when I sort of had that message the other day, when like this deer, I don't know if it was actually there or not, but I had to slam my brakes on. And so I went through a process of that, and I've got a figurine which I'll put a picture in later or something, but and it was just like, so it's like the energy with just cloth around it, but then the cloth, what the deer showed me was just the exterior coming off to just be the open energy. And it's like, so that's all my purpose is just to be clear energy, like the water, to receive and let it flow. And
That's
just be that
beautiful.
open vessel.
Yeah, keep doing it. Noah was laughing. I know Brandon got really
laughing.
excited. Yeah. There, because Noah's like, oh, I came to visit and you were open to receive, and I helped you out there. I had heard you in another time, so I don't know if that was something on here or if it was just off here. I don't know what it was. He said, I heard you in another time saying, I want to be able to talk. I want to be open, and I want to do, what is it like to do healing or to be connected? And he said, so we connected you, but that's only because you asked. The universe did the rest of it. You're open to the galactic now, and now you are back. You're more aligned with your home. You're more aligned with your mother, father, and he's showing galactic mother, father, not mother, father in this realm. And he said, you're aligned with your mother, father now, so the communication is opened a little bit better. And also because he says you're aligning with us too. You're being called for a greater purpose, and you've always wondered what that is. It's time to be a healer now, and it's time to tell the world the things that you're experiencing and seeing, because energetically we're ready to hear. They're ready to hear it, and they're ready to feel it also. I'll work with you more. Just call on me and I'll be there. And Brandon had, sorry guys, I got this little cough that goes on every now and then. But Brandon had said, yes, it very nice to see you on our side. You've been called many times, but you never stepped over the fence.
It's scary to like, it's that thing. And my friend, it's funny that my friend ended up like, are you in? She gave me, went round to hers and she gave me this like little, pick a little thing out, like an angel card type thing. And it was like, love is limitless. And at the weekend, actually put that with, so I got Fire Phoenix the other week, and to use it, but then I went to a workshop and it was to do with wealth bundles, and I've got my wealth bundle and I was using it properly. And it gave me a thing on how to use the Fire Phoenix to clear everything. But then because of what because I've got water in it as well, to use the water to send the ripples out, because the ripples out are going to come back in. And then but I've got the figurine of Rebecca, she keeps the fire, she keeps the light going, and she's got a cauldron in front of her. So I've put the Millie's Love is Limitless within the on the top of the cauldron, with her looking after the flame of life and healing and light and all that, and then the abundance bundle on top, and just started using that, and it's just, and everything's just really blown up. I mean, it's like with this is the figurine. I had to get it for you to show. It's got a candle with it as well.
Okay. Yep.
So it does look quite scary. Some people see it as death, and it has come to me in a shamanic journey, and it did make me die. It pulled my brain out of my head and dried it up and all that sort of thing. It was quite painful. But this is like, and this is what happened with the deer, because I didn't know if I hit a deer or not on the road the other day. But I think it was a spirit deer, because it came to me in the shower and gave me a massive download. But it was all about just get rid of this exterior, because this exterior is different for any people. You can wear what you want, what colours you want, what clothes you want. But when this comes off, this is what we are, is energy, void, just is. And it's held in the light. Oh my gosh. And he bought that 2 weeks ago.
So let me ask you this question. Just because, I mean, I'm seeing from even a psychic like you're intuitive, but then all the friends are saying the exact same thing. Are you more afraid of being yourself, or were you more afraid of being who people said you were? Because you weren't comfortable. You were always hiding. You were always questioning. You were always saying, I'm not enough. I can't do this, blah, 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 blah. And now
everyone's better than me.
Yeah, now you are you.
I'm not
And you're
worthy.
scared of that because you know who you are. And for you to say, wait, is this me? Louise doing this and and whatnot. It was scary because you affirmed yourself, and that's who you always knew you were. And now it's just been unlocked, so you can't hold it back. So they say embrace yourself, because you've never been that, and you're how old? They'd like to see that from you. Don't be afraid of who you are. You're only afraid of those who told you who you weren't.
And right on all of it, I just fear that it's also going to segregate me potentially from people even more.
Good.
So,
awesome. That's fantabulous.
I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
I absolutely love
Kelly,
it, it's like,
get in on this one, Kelly.
And this is it. And I have to say, it came to me after the deer thing, and the deer kept flashing in front of my mind, and it was like, and I have to say, it was nowhere. And it was like, he was in my ear. Now you know what it's like, how we feel when we walk out and people see us. Now you know how we feel, because people see this. They don't see what's going on inside, which I've felt before anyway. People don't know me when they judge me. Like, yeah, I know I'm on my own world and on my own planet and whatever. Mine's a lovely place, so F off and mess your own. He's laughing again.
It's funny. She'll come out. She's got her terrible cold going on. But I mean, I just hit a deer this week, actually physically, my poor car. I mean, it's just a bumper, but it's funny that you say that. And we were riding in my car after I hit it with Miss Kelly, and I think after she gets a drink and collects herself from this coughing fit, she's got something to say, because this was the topic of this weekend.
Oh my God, my lady. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Melissa, do you want to kick it off? Oh, wow.
No, I actually thought I hit a deer, and I got out my car and everything, because it looked at me, but I think it was the spirit deer. And that next morning, I went off to go and decorate the inside of a mulberry hoop, ready for tomorrow where I go and put a deer skin on my drum. I'm birthing a drum that's deer tomorrow. And this is it, everything, you know, when it all comes in alignment, and it's like, what?
Because here's what I said to my friend yesterday. So my friend was having a really bad day, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a shirt of this. When you come into align with the divine, everything will be fine. And it won't be if it's not. And here's what I have to say. Every single person who goes into their spiritual self, they lose those around them. And that's because it shouldn't be there. They weren't supposed to be the energy. They weren't divine. They aren't going. They're going to be the ones to hold you back. So, going back to utilize them as a tool to remember what you don't want to be. Utilize them as a tool to remember how far you came. Utilize them as a tool to say, you know what? Awesome. You just checked yourself out of my life. Thank you, because now I don't have to be the one to take you out. Because when we're on our divine road, right? When we're like in our car, we're going to our destinations. We're all going to one place, we're all going to different places, not the same place. So don't hold those behind that want to be behind. Let them stay there, but don't let them hold you behind. It's exactly what has to happen. And the more that we get into our divine alignment, we're going to see who we are, and we're going to see who we're meant to be. And a lot of the people that we really thought we aligned with, they're going to come out in the woodwork, and we're going to see what they weren't supposed to. And it's all beautiful because it's just a purification. It's just a cleansing. Go ahead, Kelly. No.
Well, I processed it as rejection on the human self and initially, and the way Melissa can just take the perspective and just tweak it a little bit for you makes you feel so free. And we experienced it in real time this weekend, and it just was extremely powerful. And normally I would have looked at the end of the weekend and just been deflated. And I even threw a little bit of a pity party. I will say, I admit it. I threw a little bit. And Melissa just came right in and just went whack. And my perspective changed totally. So I want to invite you to look at it like that, rather than the old way and the old programming, because you're amazing and you're powerful. And Melissa and I have been like seriously orbiting. And every time we see each other, we're like, hello, old friend. Hello, old friend. And just orbiting. And this weekend gave us this opportunity to just go like harmonize and go, oh yeah, there we go. So by those others falling away, gives you the opportunity to see those that are going to come out of the woodworks, and you can be like, hello, old friend.
I do feel that it's not me. Do you know what I mean? I just need to put me to one side, and everything else happens. That, you know, it's not like when you sit and do a job with your hands and you create something. I'm not doing anything. All I have to do is allow my energy and my open mind and open heart to be used. I just have to be clear. That's it. Hollow bones, as we say shamanically.
Exactly that. And it's really easy sometimes to get caught up, in the anger and the resentment and the rejection, but just see it for what it is. Because if you really are in the divine and you're following your soul purpose, you don't need to go to one side. You don't need to go up, down, left, right. You don't need to go in, out. You just need to be in a state of being. And one thing that I really love about my friends here is that they keep us in that state of being. They don't allow you to be stuck. They say, you know what? It was just a moment, and sometimes it was just a moment, and I'll say I had this weekend with my husband. We went out on St. Patty's Day. It was the first time I knew I was Irish, and I'm like, we're gonna go and we're gonna have fun, and we did not have fun. We picked the wrong restaurant, and we didn't. It was a horrible thing, and so he was kind of ho-hum, and I said, you're you're kind of boring. And he said, well, and you're being rude, because I just wanted to get up and go. And he's like, nope, we picked this place, this is where we're staying. I'm like, you're not being adventurous, you're being a boring then. And he kind of got mad, and I said, you know what, babe, that was just a moment. It was just a moment at our time. You don't need to sit and ponder over it. You're not really actually boring. I just really wanted to leave, and I was bored sitting there for 17 minutes, not being greeted by any server. And I said, but you know what? We'll make the moment fun and we'll change it. We'll change it. You have the ability at any point in time to change your reality, to change your thought, to change your state of being. And if you stay in alignment with that divine, you're going to go through a lot of states because you're going through what the world's going through. And so you're going to be pushed through anger, through sadness, through all of those. We shouldn't push ourselves out of that. We should allow ourselves to go inward and to feel it, even more of it. Now with the rejection thing, Kelly and I had gone to an event with very beautiful people, and we were hosting a psychic gallery, of which most her and I will sell out on. We combined had one person, and it was just like, holy moly, what did we do wrong? And that was our first thought was, well, are we not good enough? Are we not hearing it? Are we not, like, what happened with this one person? Well, then her and I are sitting down with this one person, and we unlocked a whole nother thing that we never knew we had. So coming out of it, the rest of the group was looking at us and they're like, look at these guys, these two, we thought that they would fill a room and they only get one person. Well, we were both tired. We were exhausted. We were feeding each other. We didn't have probably the capacity to have 25 people in the room. And the one person that we needed, she needed some life changes. So we had quantity over quality. We had an activation, and Kelly, not even knowing at the end, she didn't even take the money from that person, and she gave it to the person hosting the vending. And she goes, I don't know why I did that. Sorry, I didn't even ask you. And I said, no, it was meant to be. And later on, we found out because it was an activation. So sometimes when you feel you're rejected in the most amount of way is when creator's pushing you alone to say, no, I have something more important to teach you. And it's not from something like this. It's not the big groups. It's not the big people. It's not those around you. It's something that you're going to find when you take that sacred time to be with me. And then therefore now you have that growth. So when we have rejection from others, that means that we have space for growth within ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay.
And so, think of it as something good, being like, yes, God thinks I'm too good for these people and that I have something else to learn, and like and I've said this too to Kelly, and it came out of my words, to her first. So I'll share it to the world though too, is hate is just another opportunity to give love. Because for every time that somebody hates you, you know that they're lacking love. And so then you can have the opportunity to say, wow, I really, I feel sad for them that they don't know what that is. I feel sad for them that they can't have the space. And I feel sad for them that my light makes them scared, because sometimes when we have too much light, it's like turning the light, somebody's resting 3 o'clock in the morning and they just want to stay comfortable. And that's most of the world. They just want to stay in the dark. They want to stay comfortable. They want to stay in their beds with their movies, with their 9 to 5. And that's all they want to do. And now all of a sudden we come, 3 o'clock in the morning, shining the light saying, hey, there's a party, wake up, let's go do this. And they're like, we don't want to wake up, get out of here. And you're like, then put your shades on if the light's too much. And they're like, we're not moving. Well, cool. Then that gives opportunity for you to go party and meet new people, somewhere else while that light's on during that awakening. And welcome, here you are. Yay. We love you and accept you here. So congratulations, because let's say I got my water bottle here, right? And I got my water in the jar here, but then I got my water in the cup here, right? But then I got my water. I have water, way too much water all the time. I'm always thinking I'm going to be without it or something, right? But let's say I could only carry what was on my phone, right? So now cool, this water's balanced. I can move it all around. But then I put this on here and I got some steady, but where's this gonna go? And now you got to start deciding, do I want the bottled water, or do I want the water that's the plastic water, or do I want the spring water that I got? What kind of water I got? Now I'll tell you that this water I just put in this lemon mint bottle and then refilled it. This water's getting kind of icky. So it has these little floater things. So now I'm utilizing it for my mushroom project, instead. So now I have to decide that would I drink this water? Probably not. So I don't need it on here. That's nothing that I'm going to utilize. But if I take my spring water off here and put this on, and then I say, these are my only resources, this resource might actually make me sick. So I have to choose my resources, and people are those resources. People can make you sick. Energy can make you sick. So make sure that you only make room for what you want to make room for. And if I only make room for this, and I have the negative and the positive, yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's balanced, you know, whatever, when we look at it that way. But when we actually look at it as something that's going to serve me, I shouldn't make room for this. I can make room for a different project. This can be my mushroom project, but I need this. And another thing is our soil and mushrooms and all of those things that are in, you know, that really make beauty and really help help this world go around. They're only there because of the destruction. They're only there because the tree no longer can utilize its energy. So a mushroom is being fed from it. Our soil is all about all the decomposition. And if you don't have anything that's decomposed and you don't put it on the soil is going to get sick. So sometimes letting things die off, sometimes letting the things destroy is exactly what has to happen so that you can have the nutrients for the future.
Okay. You're making me think of burning some of my old clothes now.
Well, I think that brings us to an end, everyone. We will post, I know Sharon and I are going to talk, and we're going to get a calendar going here. And we're going to try to rotate it throughout hours and stuff, because I know we have so many different people during the day. Kelly, I know you want to say something here, and also remember that she is an open resource. She'll talk about that also. But yeah, I'm going to hand it on over to you, Miss Kelly.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was an honor to pop on. Thank you, Melissa, for organizing it, and everybody that was there. Please go to edgemagazine.net if there's anything I can do for you. My email address is kelly@edgemagazine.net. And let's see what we can create, and stay curious.
Perfectly said. Well, bye, everyone, and leave your comments below, your questions below. Please subscribe to us. We're going to try to ask people to subscribe. We're really hard about marketing, so maybe you guys can market us. I don't know. A special shout out to Jennifer, who had made a beautiful picture for us this week. She was inspired. She actually is not an artist. She was just called to do it. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I'm like, what? So that is going to be the image that we are going to put up for our Let's Be Now. We are going to make shirts of this and get some merch out there. So guys, look forward to that. It'll help us. We want to visit, put in some more for science equipment, get our electron microscopes, get another. We have one good headset and one that is old technology. We want to get a little bit better so we can go forward. We got temples to make. We got a lot of things to do. So but we always want to make sure that we have equal energy exchange and everything that we do. So we'll get that out. All of you, again, thank you for everyone who spoke today. Let us know if you want to get together at a later time. But much love to all of you, and peace be with you. Be safe. Know you're loved. Know you're cared. You're affirmed. And we are here for you. We see you. Acknowledge you. Bye.